Hi everyone, my name is James and these are my two top tips for going into job interview. So number one, it's really common in job interviews to be asked about your previous experiences. A lot of the time you'll get questions like, tell me about a time that you've had to act under pressure, or tell me about a time that you've had to manage two competing deadlines. When we get questions like this, it's really good to try and structure our answer around the STAR model. So STAR stands for situation, task, action, and result. So that's given a little bit of a background information on how the task came about, what the task is itself and what needs to be accomplished, your actions as an individual to get an outcome, and then the result itself. When we're thinking about the result, it's really good to try and be evaluative about it. So thinking about the things that went well, but also the things that maybe we'd do differently if we had to do it again. If you can identify those things in your answer, it's going to reflect really well on you as a candidate. My second top tip is being comfortable with silence. We've all been there in an interview scenario where we get a question where we don't know how to answer it straight away, or it makes us feel a little bit nervous, or it just disrupts our train of thought. When that happens, we're trying to think of an answer and the only thing we can think about is the awkward silence that seems to be filling the room. But just remember, in those scenarios, it's always okay to ask the interviewer for a moment to gather your thoughts, or if the question seems a little bit unclear, it's okay to ask for it to be rephrased slightly. Always keep in mind that an answer with a little bit of an awkward silence but is well thought out is always a better answer than one that we give straight away, that comes straight out of our mouth without really thinking about it. My top two things to avoid in an interview, the first one would be talking negatively about past experiences. Always focus on the positives and the strengths that you've learned about yourself when you've come across a challenging situation that maybe you haven't enjoyed. For me at school, it was maths. I was never any good at it, didn't like it, but actually a strength that I realised in myself was the determination to work hard and to get a grade that I was happy with. It could be a similar situation where you've disliked a subject, but actually you've discovered something about your determination or your problem-solving skills, which turned the situation around and you found some positives in it. My second thing to avoid would be negative body language. So body language is something that all humans use as another form of communication. It tells us a lot about the person we're talking to in the way that they present themselves. In interviews, things like crossed arms and avoiding eye contact comes across that you're disengaged. It might just be driven by nerves, but it's important to keep an eye on how you're presenting yourself in the interview. Good luck for the future, and please get in contact with me if you have any questions.